Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn the variables in JavaScript. So let's start. Variables are used to store the information or the values. The value of a variable can be changed except the constants. Now, how to declare a variable? Before start to use the variable, you have to declare it first. So, how we can declare a variable in JavaScript? So, you can declare a variable using var and let keywords and keep the variable name as here, for example, roll number, or using let name. So using var and let, you can declare a variable. We'll see the difference between what is var and let. Now let's see how we can initialize the variable. So after declaring the variable, we can initialize it by like this. If it is a number field, then we can initialize with assigning the value. If it is a string, then we will put it into a code. Or at the time of declaration, we can initialize the variable let email equals to ravi@gmail.com. Okay, so in this way, we can declare and initialize the variable. Now, what is the difference between var and let? So let's discuss this. The var variable and the let the var keyword and the let keyword. So using var, you can define the variable as many as time. So for example, let's say var x. Okay, then again I have declared a same variable var x equals to 10. So using var, you can declare a same variable as many as time. Okay, but using let variable, you can define the variable only once. So let's say if you declared a variable let y equals to 10, and again if you are trying to declare a let y equals to 5, then this will give the error. Okay, so you cannot declare a variable with same name again using the let keyword. So if you want to initialize a different value, then instead of, you can write it like this, y equals to 5. So this is the case where you can redeclare a variable with the same name using var keyword, but using let keyword you can declare a variable only once. Now you can change the value of variable at any time programmatically. Okay, so let's say if you are doing some execution and you want to update the value of that variable, then you can update the variable by applying some logic. Then next, the naming convention for declaring the variables. So your variable only contain numbers, small or capital alphabets from A to Z, and you can use underscore also. So say there are a few conditions that is to be considered when you are declaring a variable. Do not use underscore as the first character. For example, underscore ABC, because in JavaScript there are some methods and variables which are declared with underscore ABC, and that will make a confusion between your variable and the JavaScript variables. Do not use number as a first character, as it's not a good practice. You can declare, but it's not recommended that you can use number as a first character while declaring a variable. Use camel case when you are declaring a variable. So here you can see a student name, where the variable name student, the first word, the first letter of the word should be small, and the first letter of the subsequent word should be capitalized. So let's say another example, date of birth. So here O is capital and B is capital of date of birth, and D is small as it's the first word. Okay. Now variable name reflects the data stored in it. You have to declare the variable in such a way so that it will reflect what type of data or what data is stored in that variable. So let's say here student email address. So this will tell that there is an email address stored for the student, and this variable used to store the email address of the parent. So in this way, you can declare the variable in the JavaScript. So from the variable, from the name itself, it's clear what that variable holds. Now, do not use reserved keywords like for, function, while. So these are some reserved keywords in JavaScript. So Do not use this variable for declaring declaring as a variable. Now variables are case sensitive. Here you can see the example roll number. Okay, so this roll number is of capital N, and here roll number with capital small n. So here these two variables are totally different from each other and they hold different values. So they are not same variable. Here n is capital and here n is small. Then next, the type of variables in JavaScript. So the different type of data that can be stored in the variables that we are going to focus here in this section. Here, so you can store numbers. So numbers may be integer or float value. So in JavaScript, they are called as numbers. So number may be a 35 or number may be a 6.5. Strings. Here name is equals to Ravi. You can declare a string in single quotes. Here email equals to double quotes ravi@gmail.com. You can still declare a variable using a double quotes. Then even you can store a sentence in that str variable, like this is a string. Next, boolean. Boolean has two values, true and false. So let's say let empty is equals to true. So you can declare a variable directly by defining true, either true or false, or by some conditions. So after evaluating this condition, 6 is greater than 10, which is a false. So false value will be stored in this is greater. Next, we have objects. So let's say students is equals to curly braces roll number. Now here you can see the roll number is written without quotes. Okay, then after that the value is written over here. So this is the value. So this roll number or name and emails are called data, or you can say property of the object. Okay, so here the value for that property name is Ravi, which is a string. Here roll number, the property for student object, having value 1, which is an integer value. So this object student has three properties: roll number, name and email. To access the value of the object, or to access the value of these properties, you can use a dot convention like a student dot roll number. So this will give you the output 1. Next, arrays. So they contain multiple values of a different type. So let's say we have a car variable. So you can declare the array by putting a square bracket and double quotes and as a string array here. So we have a car array having company name Maruti, Suzuki and Honda. Then next we have another array called roll call list. So here the roll call list is stored like 1, 10, 20, 2, 3, 5. JavaScript array start with 0. Okay, so here this 1 is stored at 0th index and 5 is stored at the 5th index. So total element in this array are 6. Now to access the value of an array, you can use index slash or position of that element within a square bracket like car 0, which will give you the output Maruti, which is at here at the 0th index. Okay, roll call list square bracket 4. So by giving a 4 here, this will give you 3. So this is the 4th index, and here you can see that 4th index we have a variable called 3. Now dynamic typing. So what is dynamic typing? You in JavaScript don't need to specify the data type of variable. Browser automatically treat the variable based on the value assigned in it. Now to check the type of variable in JavaScript, you can use type of, which is a special operator. Excuse me. Now example, let height is equals to 6.5. Here this height variable stored a string. So this is a string, and here the height is equals to 6.5. Now this variable now stored a 6.5, which is a number. Now this variable become number. So JavaScript automatically treat this variable which holds a data type called number. Now let's talk about constants in JavaScript. Constants are the value that once declared cannot be changed, And in the older version of JavaScript, it does not support the constants. So constants are used to prevent the changing of the variable accidentally, or to secure a variable, or that and no one can modify that variable. So const keyword is used to declare const values. Example, const pi is equals to 3.14. So this is the pi value, and which this pi value cannot be modified. After that, we have declared, you can also declare the constant as you want. Here I have declared another variable, seed is equals to 10. Now if you try to modify this value, then this will give you an error. Okay, that's it for the session. We'll see you in the next video.